Hey, welcome to another video from SkinnyMedic. I have another after-action medical report. This is a good one. This one is not trauma-related, so something different. You guys like these, so I thought this was something totally different. I like talking about trauma just as much as you guys. But this is a pretty cool medical one that popped up. Someone tagged me on Facebook, so I took a look at it. And at first, I was like, man, what's going on here? Like, it's a car wreck, but there's not much damage. There's a lot of bystanders. There's a guy doing CPR. What's going on? And so I started doing some more research, and I think this is a pretty cool one. So absolutely, bystanders saved this young lady's life. So there's a lot of details here that I want to go over. So let's watch the video first, and then we'll talk about it.
You want me to elevate her head? If anything?
Where's the police?
Sure, you can use this.
I don't know. He's the nurse.
Whatever you need.
Somebody can help direct traffic.
The guy blocked it off. He blocked off with his car.
Hold it, hold it.
Officer, my son performing CPR on him right now. He's a nurse.
Okay.
Is the ambulance people coming?
They're coming. They're coming. Hold it.
Please come. Oh, God. I heard it, man. I heard it. Bam! I thought it was my son's car. That's why I came up here.
I seen that shit happen.
Oh, my God.
I was about to go to Wendy's, and as soon as I turned out, I seen that shit.
Man, he on his way to work. Man, this is so scary. I heard the bam. I said, oh, God, is that my son's car? Save her life, Brian. Save her life. Okay, Brian, here come paramedics. Paramedics is coming. Let them take over, Brian.
So they get okay. I gotta keep going. She's not breathing. There's a pulse.
Let them. Let the paramedics take over, man.
Come on. She's not breathing. All right, go ahead.
Brian, get your thing. You're gonna be.
Guys, just get her up.
Where's your thing? The yellow thing.
It's in here.
Okay.
Here, Mom, hold this.
They got a pulse? Good job, boy. Good fucking job.
My job done.
So first responders do a thing called a windshield survey. And this is when we first pull up on scene. We're trying to gather as much information as possible about the scene. You know, are the power lines down? Are the obstructions? Or where are the patients at? Is our car rolled over? Is our car on its side? Is everybody walking around? Is there someone face down? Like, we're trying to gather as much information from the windshield when we first pull up that we can gather. This maybe start getting us resources coming. This is something getting our mind right, what we're fixing to go into. So when I first look at this video, I'm thinking windshield survey. So you see the car there. What we can kind of tell, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of damage to this car. There's a young lady on the ground, guys doing CPR. So my first thought is she's having a medical emergency because there's not a lot of damage to the car to cause the trauma, to cause her to stop breathing, maybe be in cardiac arrest. So there's something medical related that caused her to go into the car wreck. And doing some research, I found an article and I found out what happened, but I'm going to save it for the end, make you guys watch. So that's exactly what happened. This lady was having a medical emergency and it caused the car wreck. Once we get out of the vehicle, scene safety becomes an issue. We're in the middle of the road here. They're doing CPR in the middle of the road. There's plenty of bystanders. You can hear someone even say, hey, can we block traffic? And someone says they're already doing it. But absolutely, your safety should be very important to you. So if you find yourself in an accident like this, there's one is that windshield survey, kind of gathering as much information as you can quickly. And then you got to be able to control the scene, keep it safe. You don't want cars whizzing by you at 45 miles an hour while you're doing CPR in the middle of the road. You know, if it's a safety issue, you can move that patient out of the middle of the road to do CPR. Just don't delay the chest compressions that much, because that's what's going to save this person's life, is the chest compressions if they're in cardiac arrest. So if you can block the road, stop traffic from coming, absolutely. Get cops to do it. You know, whatever, other, you know, bystanders, if they're not doing anything, then get them to block the road. If you feel unsafe, move the patient, drag them to a safe area, and then start doing CPR. So as we watch this video, this guy is rocking the chest compressions. Fantastic job. He's a big boy, but he is down on her chest, doing good, solid compressions at a good rate. Everything looks fantastic. He even throws in his rescue breaths. Props for that. You know, most people are just going to be doing hands-only CPR, which is just chest compressions. Nothing wrong with that. But this guy is doing a fantastic job. So I was able to find a news article that talks more about this story, is that the gentleman doing CPR is a nurse, and that the young lady who had the medical emergency had overdosed on heroin. The article said she was given Narcan and survived. So she survived. Good ending to the story. So let's talk about Narcan and heroin overdoses. Heroin is a big problem right now, and it causes respiratory depression. It means it starts slowing down the breathing, and they go unconscious, and you stop breathing. When you stop breathing, your heart rate stays here, and it starts to slow down until it stops, and you're in cardiac arrest. That's kind of the progression of it. You can give them Narcan. You have it over the counter. First responders are carrying it. You can give it up the nose. You can give it a shot. You can give it in the IV, and it reverses the effects of the opiate, heroin. And they wake up and they're all ticked off. You took their high away from them. True story.
Not breathing, there's a pulse.
You can hear multiple bystanders saying she's not breathing. So she's obviously in respiratory arrest. And we can assume that he's doing CPR. He didn't feel a pulse. Okay, so I wasn't there to feel a pulse. He's doing CPR because he doesn't think he feels a pulse. No problem there. Even if she still had a pulse, the CPR is not going to hurt her. Okay? So when I teach CPR to lay people through the American Heart Association, this is a national standard for American Heart Association, we're teaching lay people CPR, meaning that the average Joe who's not a first responder wants a CPR class. We teach them to activate the 911, get an AED, and you're going to kind of look for effective breathing. If you don't see effective breathing, you start chest compressions. Boom, boom, boom. Somewhere between 100 and 120 beats a minute. Okay? So that's what happened here. This lady doesn't have effective breathing because we know she's overdosed on heroin. She's probably not breathing or not breathing well. Maybe like just a couple times a minute, less than 5 or 6 a minute. We call it agonal respiratory rate. But she doesn't have effective breathing. She's not breathing like you and I are breathing right now. So he chooses to do CPR. Props. Saves the lady's life. Okay? First responders get on scene. They do a little bit of CPR. They get her on the stretcher. That's what I would have done. Get out of the middle of the road. Get away from the crowd. And they're like, hey, she's got a pulse back. Boom. Okay? Saved her life. Fantastic ending to this story.
The yellow thing.
It's in here.
Okay.
Here, Mom, hold this.
They got a pulse. Good job.
I also want to talk to you guys about post-cardiac arrest. Means that your loved one, your friend, your neighbor, whoever, was in cardiac arrest, meaning they do not have a heartbeat and they were not breathing, and maybe a bystander, maybe you, hopefully you, start CPR, and then EMS comes in and they work the patient for 20, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, however long, and they say, hey, we got a pulse back. But the patient's still unconscious and they're really sick. And that is the honest truth. So if you have a family member, coworker, neighbor, whoever that goes into cardiac arrest, understand that even if EMS gets a pulse back, they're still super sick. Okay, they're not out of the woods yet. They're still super sick. And bystander CPR is absolutely what saves lives. The chance of your survivability right now is probably less than 10% out of hospital. It's not a good statistic. But we get saves all the time And it's because of bystander CPR that start those chest compressions as they're calling 911, that are while they're waiting on first responders to get there. Bystanders are doing CPR is what saves lives. So take a CPR class. You can go to Red Cross, American Heart Association. It's a few hours. Learn CPR. You can absolutely save someone's life. So thank you guys for watching. You never know when you'll be the first responder. Remember the right gear and the right training.